Welcome back to the Deep Dive. We are back with another stack of sources, and today we are tackling a force in the universe. I would argue it's more powerful than advanced analytics, more influential than a head coach's halftime speech, and, well, significantly more terrifying than a star quarterback rolling his ankle in warm-ups.
Wow. You're setting the stakes pretty high here. What force are we talking about?
I'm talking about the jinx.
Oh.
And not just any jinx. I'm not talking about, walking under ladders or the curse of the Bambino. I'm talking about a very specific, modern, data-defying thing that happens in sports media. It's the sheer, unadulterated terror that occurs when a panel of so-called experts all agree on the same outcome.
Ah, the unanimous pick.
The kiss of death.
The kiss of death.
It does feeling right.
You're sitting there, maybe you got a little money on the game or it's just your home team. You feel good, the matchups look favorable, and then you turn on the pregame show.
Yeah.
And one by one, every single talking head picks your team to win.
And your heart just drops into your stomach. It's immediate nausea because, almost by some cosmic law that if everyone thinks it's going to happen, it definitely won't.
Right.
To explore this, we have a fascinating piece of audio, well, a transcript of the audio that we're going to break down today. It's from an ESPN YouTube video titled, "The NFL Live Crew Find Out They All Picked the Texans."
This clip is absolute gold. It is a masterclass in psychological meltdown. It's like watching a social experiment go horribly wrong in real time.
It really is. So our mission today is to unpack this chaotic minute of television. We're going to look at the dynamics of sports prediction, the superstition of the herd, and the specific historical trauma weighing on the Houston Texans. A weight so heavy, it triggered what looks like a panic attack on live TV.
I think what makes this so interesting is that in almost any other field, consensus is the goal.
Yes.
I mean, if I go to 5 different heart surgeons and they all agree on the diagnosis, I feel great. I feel reassured.
Right. You don't say, oh no, all the doctors agree, I'm definitely doomed.
Exactly. If 5 engineers tell you a bridge is safe, you drive your car over it. But sports is different. In sports, unanimity is treated like a toxic asset. If everyone agrees, the market is broken.
So let's set the scene for you. We're looking at the NFL Live Crew. These aren't amateurs. These are former players, insiders, analysts, people who are paid a lot of money to know football.
A lot of money.
They're doing their game picks segment. And the graphics are about to pop up on the screen, revealing who everyone selected to win the matchup between the Houston Texans and the New England Patriots.
And usually, from a production standpoint, you want a split. You want friction. You want 3 people picking the favorite and 2 people making that spicy underdog pick so they can yell at each other for 30 seconds. That's good TV.
Conflict creates content. But here, the graphic hits. The reveal happens. And instead of a debate, we get a wall of sound. I want to look at the immediate reaction in the transcript. The very first words out of their mouths aren't analysis.
Yep.
They aren't stats. They are just pure denial.
It is so visceral. You see phrases like, no way, oh no, and hell no.
Hell no. Think about how weird that is. That is not what you expect to hear when someone picks a team to win. You'd think they'd be saying, yes, I'm confident in this pick, or here's the data. But it's the opposite. It's immediate regret.
It's the realization that they've accidentally created what gamblers call the mush.
Okay, let's pause there. I love this term. Unpack the mush for us.
So in gambling culture, or even just sports superstition, a mush or a cooler is when the public or the experts are so heavily loaded on one side that the universe feels obligated to correct it.
Right.
It's the idea that the crowd is always wrong. So when they see that wall of Texans logos on the screen, they aren't seeing a confident prediction, they're seeing a trap.
There's a specific line in the transcript that captures this finality. Amidst all the shouting, someone says, once the gong is in, it's finally. And then they get cut off. But the sentiment is so clear.
The gong, it refers to the sound effect they use when the picks lock in. It's the point of no return. Once the graphics are on the screen, you're on the record. And being on the record as a unanimous block is terrifying because there is no safety net.
If you're wrong, you're all wrong together.
Right. If the panel is split, say, 3 pick the Texans and 2 pick the Patriots, no matter what happens in the game, some of the experts on that desk are going to look smart tomorrow.
Sure.
The show wins either way. But if everyone picks the Texans, They have exposed the show to total failure. There's no hedge.
It's pure exposure. And this connects to something called the observer effect in physics, doesn't it? The idea that by observing the phenomenon, you change it.
That's a great connection. In this context, the analysts feel that by observing the game and collectively agreeing on the outcome, they are actually jinxing the outcome. They stop being passive analysts and become active participants in the team's demise. They feel like they are the ones causing the loss.
And then the conversation takes a turn that I found absolutely hilarious. It shifts from panic to paranoia. There's this confusion involving the names Liddell and Mina. One of the analysts just asked Mina, "Did you get my paper?"
I love that detail. Did you get my paper? It immediately reverts them to being school children.
It really does. It implies that the only reason they could possibly all have the same answer is that someone copied off someone else. Like, I didn't study, I just look at your sheet.
It speaks to how unnatural that level of agreement feels in the modern NFL. The league is designed for parity any given Sunday, right?
Yeah.
The salary cap, the draft order, everything is engineered to keep teams close. So when you have 5 people seamlessly aligning on one outcome, your brain just rejects it. You think, this must be a mistake or a prank. Did you see my notes? They can't believe the uniformity is genuine.
But this brings up a really critical point about groupthink.
Yeah.
Because frankly, even if they aren't literally copying homework, they probably are copying each other, even if they don't realize it.
Oh, absolutely. This is the echo chamber of sports media. These analysts all consume the same data. They follow the same insiders on Twitter. They watch the same game tape. They talk to the same coaches. They're drinking from the same information well. So statistically, it shouldn't be that surprising that they come to the same conclusion.
But they sell themselves on having unique takes. That's their brand.
Right. They sell the illusion of unique insight. I see something no one else sees. When the graphic reveals total agreement, it shatters that illusion. It shows that they are all just processing the same inputs and getting the same output. It makes the show feel redundant. And no one wants to feel redundant on national television. It triggers a sort of professional imposter syndrome.
Wait, if we all think the same thing, why are there 5 of us sitting here?
Exactly. We could have just done this with one guy and saved the budget.
Now, let's dig into the actual football context here, because this is where it gets really layered. There's a very specific reason why they shouldn't have all agreed. We have to talk about the Nico Collins factor.
This is where the rational part of their brain tries to fight the superstition. In the transcript, one of the analysts tries to explain their shock. They say, "I thought when Nico Collins was ruled out, everybody would change it but me."
Let's unpack that logic, because I think this is fascinating. Nico Collins isn't just a guy on the roster.
No, at this point in the season, he is the engine of that offense. He's the WR1. He opens up the field. In the world of sports handicapping, when a star player like that is ruled out, that is usually the tipping point. That is the variable that causes people to hedge their bets.
Right. If you're looking at this objectively, you'd expect at least 2 of the analysts to say, well, without Collins, the offense might stall. New England has a feisty defense playing at home, so I'll take the Patriots just to be safe.
Exactly. That's the contrarian pick. That's the smart play. But what the analyst is admitting here is a classic failure of game theory. They admit, I thought everybody would change it but me.
So they were trying to be the outlier.
Yes. They were trying to be the hero. They all thought, okay, the news about Nico is bad. Everyone else is going to panic and pick New England, so I'm going to be the smart one. I'm going to stick with the Texans and show that I have faith in the roster depth.
But they all thought that.
They all ran the same simulation in their heads. They all tried to outsmart the narrative, and because they all used the exact same logic
To be different.
they all ended up being exactly the same.
That is hilarious. It's like 5 people showing up to a party wearing a tuxedo because they thought everyone else would dress casual.
And now they're all standing there in tuxedos looking at each other like, well, this is awkward. They tried to zag when everyone else zigged, but they all zagged together.
So they created the unanimous jinx by trying to avoid the obvious pick.
That is incredible. But let's raise the stakes. Because if this were just a random midseason game for, say, the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe they laugh it off.
Sure, the Chiefs have rings. They have confidence.
But this is Houston.
H-Town. And the transcript explicitly brings up the ghosts of the past. Someone shouts out, no, he's been to a conference championship game since the Oilers in 1979.
1979. Okay, you need to pause on that. That is not just a year. That is a scar on the psyche of a city.
Break it down for the listener who might not know the history. Why is that specific date so painful?
So the Houston Oilers, the previous NFL franchise in the city, had their absolute glory days in the late 70s, the Love Ya Blue era.
Right.
Earl Campbell running over people. They were iconic. The whole city was painted baby blue, but they hit a ceiling. They lost back-to-back AFC championship games to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And they never got back.
They never got back. And then the ultimate heartbreak, the team actually left. They moved to Tennessee and became the Titans. Houston lost its team entirely. Then they got the Texans in 2002. And the Texans, in their entire history, have never reached the AFC championship game. Not once.
So when the analyst yells 1979, they aren't just talking about a football stat. They're invoking a 40-plus year drought involving two different franchises.
Exactly. The emotional toll here is massive. The implication is this city has been waiting nearly half a century for a breakthrough. Expectations are finally high. We have a good team, and we, the ESPN crew, just jinxed it by all agreeing they will win.
It adds so much weight to the panic. It's not just, oh, I might get my pick wrong and look silly on Twitter. It's, we are actively contributing to the misery of an entire major American city.
You can actually hear the guilt setting in. There's a moment where they pivot to the other side, addressing the New England fans. They say, love you, New England fans, you're going to be mad at us. But the tone there is so layered.